Hey everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith, and today we are going to be jumping into Big Story Part 2, and I'm going to share a Bible journaling process video in my Illustrating Bible. So I've got Part 2 of the Big Story kit right here, along with some other things that I've been reaching for as I worked through the first part also. I've got my traveler's notebook with my devotionals inside. So today I'll be working through this first section here where we're tracing the theme of mediator. So today we're going to talk all about the tool used in this session, which is called the Typology tool. But before we jump in, let me go ahead and open up my Bible to Exodus 34. And we're going to use this big, nice and wide margin here to journal. I'm going to play around with some of the fun elements in the kit. Alright, so we've got this whole margin to use. I know that I want to use the sticker sheet and the fabric triangles. I love playing with shapes and pieces of patterned paper. You may have seen me do that last week in my print and pray video using circles. And then I have the stamp set from part 1 that I might use also. That should be it for now. I'll keep that close by in case I want to continue to pull stuff from it. So the direction for this page, color-wise, is going to come from this printable from Brave Little Tailor. This is from her The Living Word digital devotional kit, and I love this one piece that says put your Jesus glasses on, which is what we're going to be doing today as we learn about typology. So I really wanted to focus on the blue and this pinkish, and this pinkish purple, and those are the colors driving today's entry. Fortunately, we have a good amount of pink and blue in this kit. So let's go ahead and get started. So my idea for the fabric triangles was to create an arrow shape. I think I've mentioned in videos before how I love to point back and forth to parts of the Bible passages that speak to each other because it's one big cohesive story, right? So I'm going to use the pinks and the blues and this really fun spotty dot fabric triangle and build an arrow. So I kind of worked on this off to the side before I started filming, so I had an idea of how many I would need and the shape that I wanted to create. And since I'm pointing forward to the book of Matthew from this page in Exodus, I have my arrow pointing right back towards the New Testament. So I played around with a few different versions, swapped out some of the colors, and I landed on this one here. So this is how I'm going to keep it, and I love all of those stringy bits that we get from the fabric triangles. Such a happy accident or happy bonus. Next, I'm going to type up some journaling on one of the digital journaling spots that are available in the Print and Pray shop. So this is a little bit of a smaller scale than what came with the Big Story 1 devotional kit. And then I'm going to layer, again, sticking to my color scheme of blue and pinkish purple, and now I'm going to add this red. I'm going to layer one of the stickers from the sticker sheet behind there, and then just use my tape runner to get the speech bubble down, or journaling spot down. Then I'll go ahead and peel back the sticker release paper from Brave Little Tailor's printable, and then I'll go ahead and get each piece of my triangle down. I wish I would have started with the part that was closest to the outside of the page, that blue triangle over to the right, but it's totally okay. It ended up fitting. And then I'm using my fingernail along the edge to distress some of the pieces so I get even more string kind of hanging out. It's a little bit wonky, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. Next, I'm going to reach for the book chapter verse stamp from the Big Story 1 devotional kit so that I can point forward to that story in Matthew that I mentioned, but not before I add a few of these really fun button stickers to my page. So what is the typology tool? Well, if you joined us for Big Story Part 1, you saw where in Luke 24, Jesus explains to the travelers on the road to Emmaus that all of the scriptures, the Old Testament, points to him. So we pick up now in Big Story Part 2. Earlier, we mentioned Luke 24, where Jesus connects the dots for his disciples to show how all of the Old Testament points to him. One tool that can be used to trace Jesus throughout the big story is called typology. Generally speaking, typology has two key pieces. First, we look for historical correspondence, that is, similarities between real people, institutions, or events of the Old Testament. And then we look to see how Jesus is the ultimate fulfillment of that type in the New Testament. So for example, Moses led Israel through the waters of the Red Sea into the wilderness where they were tempted and sinned. And that is what we see here in the book of Exodus. Jesus was baptized in the waters of the Jordan River and led by the Spirit into the wilderness where he was tempted, but did not sin. Moses, a type of Christ in the Old Testament, behaved in a way that corresponds to Jesus in the New Testament. When we use the typology tool, we note these similarities in the big story and can ask whether they point us forward to ultimate fulfillment in Christ. So typically, the shortcomings of those people or institutions or events that correspond to Christ serve to show how he is the perfect and complete fulfillment of the type. And if you're working through Big Story 2 with us, that is the very next thing that we'll look at in the first journaling prompt of the mediator theme. So for my page here, I am including the definition of typology, just so I have reference of the tool, and I'm referencing that story down in the bottom journaling spot that I added towards the end here with the pink, layered some more stickers behind that, and that's it. So here's a finished look at my page with a couple of close-ups. We would love to have you guys join us for Big Story Part 2, the second installment of our Revival Camp devotional series. I've got the physical and digital resources linked down in the video description below, that box below the video for you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.